buddy of mine got in touch a few years ago with me, a friend from college, to say that he'd set himself the challenge to hike the highest peak in every county in Ireland. And he was getting in touch because he was coming down my way to take a few off the list, and he wanted to know if I'd join him for the hike, so I said I would. And then the next time he came down, I joined him again, and roll on a few years, and I'm still going hiking with him a few times a year. So never something that was particularly planned, but yeah, it worked out pretty cool. It's something I really enjoy. Do it every few months, just going off for a hike. He completed his challenge, by the way, and he's on the 100 highest now. Interesting, some of the county high points are actually shared with other counties. The peak is right on the border, so that's why we've only got 27. I'm from the southeast, Donegal's in the northwest, and it's a long old trek. So I do really like Donegal, but I don't get to go at all as often as I would like. Somewhere like Donegal is not somewhere you're going to just nip up to for, you know, a quick hike and camp like I would if it was somewhere a bit closer to home. You have to go for 2 or 3 nights at a minimum. We've been talking about doing it for ages, and we picked out a few weekends. You can't rely on the weather, particularly in the west of Ireland. This weekend was looking good. We firmed up in our plans, and once we had that done, kept an eye on the weather, and it just slowly deteriorated every day. It just got worse and worse, the forecast. And I checked it last night, and tonight's going to be a complete washout. Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be pouring rain all night, which means there'll be no campfire. So we can wild camp, but we will end up just sitting in the van, looking out at the rain. The whole point of being out in the wild is to kind of be out in the wild. So if you're sitting in the van, you might as well be in the town. And what we're probably going to end up doing is keeping a very close eye on the Met Éireann app. We'll just pick a window and try and get a hike in there between the showers. As regards where we're camping tonight, I'm not sure. We may still go to that wild camping spot, but I think it's going to be a washout, to be honest. So it's nearly 9 o'clock in the evening, and I've been driving since early afternoon. We picked out a spot to camp. The weather is unbelievable. You know, we thought it'd be lashing rain at this stage, but it's a beautiful, calm evening here. We picked out a lovely place to camp on a peninsula, but there was a gate that said like private property. But check out this lighthouse. Really cool, and there's nobody around. And down here we have the ERA, one of the ERA signs from World War II, which I'm going to go down and take a look at shortly. It's a lovely sunset here behind me. This is kind of mountains, Donegal, Slieve League direction, which is where we were originally going to camp tonight, and we decided not to because it is going to rain apparently, even though it doesn't look like it. But yeah, we're on this peninsula. There's nobody else around at all. It's pretty cool. It's just empty lighthouse, which I'm wondering is going to turn on at some stage when it starts getting dark. We parked up by a nice little beach, you know, about a kilometre back the way, which is nice, but it's hopefully not too exposed because it was pretty windy when we parked there. You know, it's funny, I always imagined the light to be really bright and blinding, and it's not at all. I actually thought for a second it was like a reflection of the sunset. I think the reason for that might be because of the way the lenses work on the lighthouses, that they can kind of throw a straight beam out over our heads here, so I'm probably not getting the full benefit of the lighthouse here, and that's why it looks kind of dim. I'd say if maybe if I was up a little bit more parallel with it, the light would appear to be a lot stronger. I remember what it's called now. It's a Fresnel lens. So this Fresnel guy came up with a way of using these kind of ribbed, curved pieces of glass to focus the beam rather than having it spread out all over the place, so you could get much further distance for an equivalent amount of power than if you didn't have one of these lenses at all. So I think that's why it might look not very bright from down here. Any other lighthouse facts? Interesting lighthouse facts? Each lighthouse has its own unique signature, so the light might go on for 2 seconds every 7 seconds, and that's why when you see them at night time you can tell where you are just by the characteristics of the light. So you can stay in the lighthouse. Self-catering. So we're like a kilometre away now, and the light is actually looking brighter than when we were standing beside it.
So we stayed here in this car park last night because where we originally were by that little beach was very exposed, and the wind was howling in around the corner there. It was kind of channeling through the little bay. So I didn't want to put the pop top up because I thought the whole van would be blown all over the place. So we came here to this car park, and I was expecting a night of rain as forecast, and there was no rain. And I was expecting rain this morning, which meant we couldn't do our hike as planned, and there is no rain, none whatsoever. It's a perfect morning for a hike. So Will has just gone in for a swim, and I'm just hanging out here in the van.
Nice.
Tea is just the business.
So this is 3,000 years old. No, it's 5,000 years old. This must have been where the dude was buried. Spotted this signal tower thing from the road, which is all the way over there. And there doesn't seem to be any way of getting up to it except walking through the fields. So we're going to walk through the fields. Yeah, I can walk along there. There are dozens of these all around the coast of Ireland. They were built by the British in the early 19th century. The British were afraid of being invaded by France, by Napoleon, through Ireland. So they built all these. They predate telegraphs and telephones and things, so they had to communicate with each other with flags and other kind of signals, lights and stuff. They all had to be within visibility of the one next to them, so that a signal could be sent in a chain along the coast. Some of them have been restored. The one in Kinsale, on the old head of Kinsale, is actually now a museum memorial to the Lusitania, which I've been in, which is pretty cool. But most of them are just ruins, like this one. Here we are in Mallinbeg Beach, which is lovely and totally deserted. I love how much like a kind of a natural amphitheatre this beach is. It's got these big kind of headland things like here and like on this side as well. Kind of like Keene Bay in Mayo, if you've ever seen Keene Bay. It's that kind of thing. Beautiful beach and absolutely nobody on it. Full beach to myself. Will's gone in for a swim. He's over there. He went in this side and like swam, and he's like there somewhere now. And yeah, we're probably gonna go. We're gonna go get lunch somewhere, have a leisurely lunch, and then head back up to the camping site that we checked out earlier, which looks to be pretty good. That was the original one I had planned to do last night, but we decided not to because of the weather. So it looks like it's clearing from the south there now. It has cleared up actually a good bit even in the last hour or so. So hopefully we'll have a nice clear night tonight. We can light a fire and the rain will stay off for a while. and we'll have a nice sunrise hike then tomorrow morning. Plan is to get up probably around 4, half 4, and yeah, get up to the top of Slieve League for the sunrise. Someone has painted nudist on this rock face, so I don't know, does that suggest that the beach is a nudist beach? Am I ridiculously overdressed for the occasion? I'd be surprised if it was a nudist beach. I'm not aware of any in Ireland, but you know, it is a pretty remote location, so maybe if you've got the inside track on that, let me know. Time to delouse William. Don't your head delouse. That's lovely. Oh! This is where we were earlier on, so if we look over halfway up, which is around there, that's where we parked earlier. And if we go right up to the corner, that's where we're headed. And if you go all the way up here, that's where we're hiking. Bit of an old drop there on the left. Our sight leveling technique seems to have worked.
That's not the one man's pass.
One man?
You can use whichever one.
Just pass. Rain has cleared, so time to light the fire. What do you reckon?
I reckon you've enough fire lighter there
To light the fire?
to light a lot of fires. I don't think there's any chance of it not lighting.
Oh, it's kind of creepy. It's just staying there just staring at us. This fucking devil go with it.
She's trying to suss you out.
I don't know, I think she's staring us down. So it's pretty cloudy, but thankfully they have painted the way up on these yellow stones, which lead the way all the way to the top. It's mad that somebody here has brought all this matting up the mountain and also painted the rocks yellow to guide the pilgrims up. I must look into that when I get back and see who did that and why. This looks like the top. Wind's picked up a bit. Here we are at the top of the pilgrim's path. We have this monument which looks sort of like potentially a grave or something. I really should have researched this before coming up. And there's this like little holy well thing where the people seem to have been throwing money. And Will's gone over that way, where the yellow dots have led. So I'm going to go over and check that out now. Reached the top of beautiful Slieve League, but unfortunately you can see nothing. Highest sea cliffs in Europe, they say, but it's just cloud. Pity, might clear off. Don't think it will though. We'll just have to stand here and imagine what the view is like. Any bit of a view over that way, no? We ran into a mountain race on the way back down. And so we get ready to head off.
Was I still walking and I just blew out their hand?
What a sunset! What a sunset!